Basically, they would be, of course, the engines were cast engines and a lot of aluminum, but some of the aircraft themselves were made of, pretty well metal. The old Ansons were, they were fabric and wood, so they buckled up pretty good. There was one, actually there was one, like magnesium is light and strong, but it also burns. There was an odd aircraft, I think Bolingbrookes, they were quite a lot of magnesium in them. They'd burn if they ever got going in the metal, but they were light. If the aircraft crashed within the range that we looked after, which was Ontario and a lot of Quebec, most of Quebec, I guess the parent unit would phone the repair depot and the aircraft recovery section, which we were in, and they'd say, okay, this crew, this is what's just happened, where you go. So the motor transport people would come up with their equipment, and you would have what we call the gen poles and equipment to hold the engines, and so they'd all be put on a truck and brought back. There was certain equipment that was adaptable to each aircraft. If you were going after a Harvard, you would have certain slings that the wings would fit, and the engine would fit on if it had been knocked off, things like that. So if it was a different type of aircraft, it was an old Anson, the wing, they were kind of dirty. The big old wing went right through to the other side, so it had to come off, obviously. And, yeah. And sometimes, an odd time, there'd be one hit the lake and in the water, and strange to say, if an aircraft hit the water, it would be torn to pieces worse than the land. The water would they'd just be torn to shreds. And there would be probably special people equipped to get those out. And there were certain things, certain instruments, clocks, compasses, things like that had to be accounted for if they could be, if they were still salvageable. There were the two main things.